Hey everyone, how's it going? Azren here. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm currently sitting in my car. I'm about to go teach some English in about half an hour. And I thought I'd make a video here talking about how to go from an intermediate to an advanced level in a language. I find, more and more as I've been talking to people, I've realized that there's a ton of individuals who are stuck at this intermediate level and are really struggling to go from that intermediate to advanced. So I thought I'd share some different tips that have worked for me and that I know are working for some of my students. Now, first and foremost, it really helps to watch stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedians, because they're trying to be funny and because they're trying to make you laugh, they will purposely use a lot of slang, I guess a high percentage of slang in their monologue, in their stand-up comedy speech. More slang than you would hear in a regular day-to-day conversation. Also, on the comedy front, I would highly recommend that you guys actually watch comedies on TV. And when I say comedies, by the way, I don't mean sitcoms. I don't mean you should go watch like How I Met Your Mother or things like Friends or anything like that. I mean like a very different kind of comedy. I mean shows, for example, in English, shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like the number 9, right? Or things like The Office, right? Things like that, because in comedies like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Office, the jokes are a lot less obvious. It's like if you're watching Friends. In Friends, the jokes are usually very obvious. It's extremely obvious, or more obvious, what the characters are doing, what the actors are doing to make you laugh. There's actually a laugh track in the background to make it like super obvious, like, oh, this is funny. And so it's a lot simpler to understand. But when you're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when you're watching The Office or other comedies on TV that don't have that laugh track in the background, what happens is that you have to really, really focus and use your brain in a different way to understand the jokes they're making. And that's going to be very challenging for you. And it's going to push you and it really, I guess, make you develop in whatever language that you are learning. The other thing when it comes to going from intermediate to advanced is I think it often helps to learn very specialized vocabulary. Often as an intermediate speaker or reader, writer, etc., you know a lot of the basic day-to-day conversations. You can talk about your school, you can talk about your work, you can introduce yourself, you can ask for directions, you can talk to the person at the coffee shop, you can hold those conversations, no problem. But as soon as you start talking about politics, now you're screwed, because it's a very different type of subject matter. It's a very complicated subject matter and has very specific terminology that you might not have learned. And so to go from intermediate to advanced, what often can be a good idea is every single week or every single day or every single month, whatever, on a regular basis, pick out a specific category and learn the words associated with that category. So if you want to learn about cars, great. Learn about the steering wheel, learn about the door, learn about all the different mirrors, learn about the gas pedal, the brake, the clutch, learn about the speedometer, learn about the horn, learn about all the different things. Then learn about mountain climbing, then learn about doctors, then go learn specific vocabulary. That will really help. On a similar note of specific vocabulary, it can really help as well to actually study some higher level courses at a university if possible. I know myself, when it comes to French and Spanish, I've taken some high level literature classes where we've had to read things that are like, very complex. I've had to read things that are like Shakespeare in French and Spanish. I've had to read very old things. I've had to interpret poems. I myself have had to read I've had to read write. What am I saying? Read, write. Oh my goodness. I've had to write very long 20, 25 page papers. And that gives you a level of depth in the language that only advanced speakers have. And so I actually think that if you have an intermediate level, go to a university or college nearby and see if you can take a placement test to immediately get into a relatively high level class, because I think that for many of you will help a lot. By the way, if they don't let you into the class, they don't let you take a placement test. In many places, they will let you what's called audit a class. And the term audit might be different in every country, but often basically what it means is you get to sit in the class and listen to the class without having to pay. So you don't have to pay, but you get to listen. So you don't get credit for it. You don't typically do the homework. You just get to listen and participate. So it's an option as well. So that's a whole bunch of tips. I think overall the big thing I'll push you on though is patience. I say it all the time, but patience is the #1 thing. Hard work and patience, especially going from intermediate to advanced. It takes more work, in my opinion, to go from intermediate to advanced than it does to go from beginner to intermediate. It's just harder. It's like trying to go from a 40% in school to a 60%. It's a lot easier to do that than to go from like an 85 to a 97. It's that concept, right? 85 to 97, that 12% takes a lot more work than the 20% from 40 to 60, if that makes any sense. So it does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of practice and patience. However, hopefully the tips I gave you help you guys out a little bit. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.